Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking, coming to you with another video review. The game that I am reviewing today is a game called Mahayota. And here, I'll hold up a card. I don't have a game box or anything, because this is a game that is in Kickstarter right now. They just got funded, actually, just recently. So, yeah, so if you're worried whether or not it's going to get published, it looks like it is going to be. But there you go, that's the back of one of the cards, or faction decks, Mahayota. And Mahayota is a game of combat between one overlord of these warriors and another. And the really cool thing about this game is the theme. The theme is, it is Indian mythology. And I know nothing about Indian mythology. I think I remember like some of my old Dungeons and Dragons deities books actually had stats and some background to their mythos, if you will. But for whatever reason, it's like you just don't really, I mean, unless, I guess I'm theoretically, unless you're like somebody who studies it or you live in India, you probably don't know a lot about it. But I've always been kind of intrigued by it. I mean, I guess ever since like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, like as a kid, you know, I was kind of like, you know, it was really neat. And I remember reading about it, and like it just seemed like that Indian mythology had a lot of like fantastic gods, and also also like great warriors and great heroes and what have you. But you know, it's one of those things where it's like you always say, I really want to look into that, but you never do. But anyway, so here comes this game from a couple of dudes that this is their first design, and they decided to make a combat game, one person versus another person, a two-player game, and they're going to base everything on that mythology. And so when they asked me if I was willing to do a review of this, and they told me about what the theme was, I was like, yeah, that sounds really cool. And then they showed me some of the art of the game, and you'll see some art on the cards, and as with any game, it's a prototype, so please bear with me. And plus, I'm the one who actually printed these cards off and cut the cards out, so don't judge the quality of the cutting or anything on them. It's me. But so anyway, and then they gave me the rule book, and I was like, all right, let's see how this game plays. And this rule book, it basically, there's like 3 rules to this game, and everything else is like right on the cards. And when I get to my gameplay portion, you're going to see how quickly I can get through that. So I mean, it's one of those games where after I first started playing it, it kind of opened itself up to me, as like lots of games do, after, especially games with simple rule sets, because I'm always kind of like, yay, when I have a game that has these really nice, simple, straightforward rules, because more often than not, the creators have taken that very simple rule set, and then they have made the game kind of like, it isn't about the rules. It's about the actual gameplay. It's about the actual tactics. It's about the actual strategy that is involved with the game. That kind of is like the for lack of a better metaphor, the expanding flower or what have you. That like you can kind of see as it slowly offers like all the different nuances and cool things out to you. So anyway, obviously you can tell I'm pretty excited about this game. Mostly because my wife digs it, and I'm slowly but surely turning my wife into a board gamer, which, you know, is really awesome. And this is one of those games where she got done playing it, and she's like, that was really fun. And so when we played it again immediately thereafter. So I'm going to tell you exactly how to play the game, which, like as I said, will not take very long at all. And then we'll come back here where I'm sitting, and we will then, you will listen to me tell you why I think the game is pretty awesome. So, alright, here we go. How to play, here's the other faction, Mahayota. Mahayota. And by the way, Mahayota, I guess, stands for Great Warrior. There you go. So, maybe, you know, it's pretty obvious that Yodha was probably, you know, named after that. Alright, this is the complete and total Mahayota. This is what I had to print off. So remember, this is not by any means what the game is necessarily going to look like when it gets published. These comes from the files that I was given, and I printed these off myself. And you'll notice I did a fabulous cutting job with these, sarcasm intended. And so, but just bear with me as far as that goes. Anyway, so the game has 2 decks. Each person will take a deck, and that's how you in this deck are all the different cards you'll be using to do battle with your opponent. Each person starts out with 20 life. You can record that however you want. You can do it with like a 20-sided die, pieces of paper, poker chips, whatever you want to do. Each person takes a deck. You determine, we'll just say the person over here has that deck. And then you take your deck, you shuffle it, obviously. And I just want to, before I do anything, I just want to show you some of the really, just the awesome artwork that these cards have. I can't say enough as far as just how nice these cards look. And from what I understand, they got several top-notch artists to do their work for them. And also, each card, I should mention, it has, I'll go through what each card is and whatever. Like, this is a scroll card. And just so like this over here, this note, that's how much valor it costs to use it. You get 5 valor on a turn, 5 valor, so you just get to use that to place cards and what have you. But each card has like a little blurb as far as what the card does down here. Like this one, this is a scroll, so it's like an action basically. Steal to your hand one of your opponent's warriors or weapons that are on the battlefield. So it's something you can use to steal something. This would be a warrior, you can see, and it has an attack value of 3, defense value of 1. Cool picture there, 3 valor to put him out there, and then it has a little story about the guy. So it says, Ravan was a mighty Asura king who ruled the 3 worlds for thousands of years. He also wrote books on political science and astrology. Oh, that's nice. And the final type of card is a weapon card. And so, weapon cards, if they give a bonus, like this one gives +2 attack, they'll list there how much it costs to put on there. You can put weapons on warriors that you have out in the field, and you can put as many weapons as you want on one hero. You don't have to just one weapon per hero. So that says Goshirha, and if you combo with Duryodhana, it's +1 valor. That's a hero or a warrior that you can have. So if you can get both of those out, you can get an extra valor. So you'd have another valor that you get to use to spend to place other cards. So that's how that goes. So the first player to go takes the top 6 cards. And the reason why you take 6 is normally you only draw 5, but the very first turn of the game, the first player gets 6, basically to ensure, hopefully, that they will get a warrior, so they'll have some defense. And they're not allowed to attack the opponent on the first turn. And so we'll look and see what we got here. And we have a scroll, we have a scroll, we have a scroll, and looks like we have a warrior that costs 2, a warrior that costs 4, and a weapon that costs 1. Okay, so combined with Ravan, we don't have Ravan, we have Raktabija and Kumbhakarna. So unfortunately, we did not get a hero that we can match up. But we have to discard one of these cards because of the fact that we draw 6 and we have to have 5 to choose from on the very first turn. So let's see here. This guy's got attack and defense of 3/3. That's pretty awesome. He costs 4, but remember we get 5 valor. We can add this guy on there, so then we'd have an extra +1 on each. So when we do that, and we will discard. Well, let's look at the scrolls. We have Severe Penance. Discard 3 cards from your hand. If you do, place one card to the battlefield without spending any valor. Terragosura's Rage. -2 valor to your opponent on their next turn. And your opponent starts their turn with only 3 cards in their hand. Well, both of those 2 scrolls are pretty good. I'm going to discard this one. So we're going to discard that. And this is a game where if you run out of your cards, you just draw. You take your discard pile, you shuffle it, and draw again. So on our first turn, what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to take this guy, we're going to add that weapon to him, like so. That's going to be our 5 valor. Remember, we have 5. This costs 4. That costs 1. So we put that out there. Now, normally, if you put a warrior out, you have to attack with him. You don't have the option of not attacking, but so in this situation, we're going to just stick with that, and we go ahead, and the other player then will go, and they'll draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what they got. Okay, they got a warrior, 2/1. Oh, they can play. This one is just Valor +1, costs nothing to use. That's nice. So they can go 2, 3. Well, actually, look at that. They have a 1/3 and a 1/3. But that's a nice weapon. Vanra, the +2/+1 weapon. Do we have Sugrava, though? That's the one thing, though. Oh, we do! Look at that! So we can actually combine this. So we can go with 4/4, and we can go ahead and put... And then remember, since we're combining, that Sugrava +1 Valor, so we can spend 2 of our 3 Valor. Well, actually, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to spend this scroll. And we're going to say, okay, bam, we spend that scroll, we got +1 Valor. So we got 6 Valor now. So then, what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to play Sugrava, and that costs 2 Valor, you'll see right there. So you put that down like so, and then we're going to play this for 2 Valor. Well, normally we have, since we have 6, we're down to 4. We're going to play this one, but remember we get 1 back when we play it. So we're going to place that down, takes us down to 2, but then we go up to 3, because we get the +1 Valor. So we got 3 left, and then we got these 2 guys. Let's see here. Oh, and if we play this one, we can do double our warrior's attack or defense. So that would actually give, since we have a 2/1 and then with another 2/2/1. So right now it's a 4 and a 2, and we're fighting against a guy that has a total of 4 attack and 4 defense. So we got to get more than 4 defense if we're going to do damage. And when you do an attack, you attack with all of your warriors all at once. And you just compare that against all the defense your opponent has. So here we have a situation where we could add these guys, and they're really good defensive guys, but they have 1s for attack. And currently, we only have a 4 attack over there. So I'm going to use this one, and so even though I have enough to, like, I got to be able to take one. I have enough Valor to put one of these down. I'm going to take this guy, the Aravat Trumpets. We're going to put that down there. We're going to double this warrior's attack, so it gets him up to a 4, and we add the 2, and that's 6. So now we do the attack phase. We have a 6 attack, and we have a 4 defense. So the 6 greater than 4, you take 2 damage. This player takes 2 points of damage. However they're going to mark how the damage is, they go from 20 health to 18 health. Now, if the attack had gone through and their attack was less than the defense that this player had, they would take the damage. That's where the wrinkle comes in, that if you put a warrior down, you have to attack. And in some cases, you're going to be attacking knowing fully well that you're going to take damage. So, that is how that works. Now, on the next turn, they've done everything. It's our turn over here. The first thing you do is you have these 3. You have your 3 cards that you had. You take back the cards that you put out, and you put them back into your hand. You don't discard the cards that you played. You pull them back. And now you have your 5 Valor once again. You have the option of discarding any of these cards and drawing new cards. And then we know what we're fighting against. We know what we see. We know what's going to happen. Now, when the next person goes, they have to discard the scrolls. Whenever you use a scroll, you have to discard them and put those in your discard pile. But everything else, like the warriors and the weapons, they put back in their hand. So we'll look in here, and we could do that. Play this, and that would give them less Valor, because then they maybe wouldn't be able to put the same thing out. Maybe that's something we want to do. And then we'd only have to, we'd have force them, because it starts with 3 cards in their hand. We'd force them to have less. So we got to think of, are we going to discard any of these? Well, I do like this combo as far as the damage goes. It seems to be doing pretty well. And if we look there, they've only got a 2 defense. So we can definitely do 2 points of damage if we play both of these. But that's all 5 of our stuff, and then he's just going to do the same thing back at us. So this is where those cool decisions happen. So what we do have is we have this guy as a 2. and he doesn't cost 4. So what we could do is we could take and combine these two. And then one has a 2 here and a 1. And so that would be 3. And that would mean we'd still have enough left that we could use perhaps this scroll. And then we'd lower the valor that the person had. And let's discard this scroll and see what we get. So we're going to go, and I'm not going to discard Kumbhakarna because of the fact that he's really good at 3/3. I don't want to get rid of him. I want to hold on to him. But let's discard this scroll that lowers the number of the cards they have in their hand and draw a new card and see what we get. Okay, we got another scroll. We got a mirror image. Attack using your opponent's total attack and defend using your opponent's total defense. So, and that costs 5. But then we wouldn't have any cards out. But let's see here. We'd be attacking 4 to their 2. We do 2 points of damage. That's a pretty good scroll. But I'm going to hold on to that because I'm going to wait and maybe later on we can use it in combo with some other stuff. So I'm going to do the other things that we already talked about. I'm going to play him for 2. I'm going to play this for 1. And I'm going to play this scroll. And because he's going to have -2 valor on his next turn. So he's not going to be able to put out everything that he did before. And so we're going to do that. And our attack is 3 to their defense of 2. We do 1 point of damage to our opponent. They go down to a 19. And now the other player will go. And we keep these 2 cards. They, as I said, discard their 2 scrolls. They're going to take back their cards and put them all back in their hand, and they're going to do the exact same thing again. And now they have to figure out, how are they going to attack me? How are they going to do damage to me? And that's how the game progresses. It's just back and forth. I'm not going to play out the entire game and show you every step, but I mean, that's how the game progresses. It's always about figuring out, like, which cards am I discarding, which cards I'm going to use, am I going to hold on to it? What is my opponent going to do? Are they going to hold on to their cards that they have? Are they going to switch it up? All that kinds of stuff, and that's where the fun really starts to open up because of the fact that, it's like every single time you can't just stand pat. You can't just keep like putting the same cards out every time because your opponent's not going to let you. Sure, the first time you play it, they're going to like kind of mess around with the cards and do it, but after somebody's like seen the cards, played it once, they're going to realize that they can't just let you just have a really good combo. They've got to get those scroll cards in their hand. They've got to just play those, mess with you, lower the amount of valor you have. There's also there's a scroll that you can do that makes everybody discard whatever they've just put out. Things like that, so you have to mess with what other people are doing. But there you go. That's a really good overview of how to play Mahayota. Now let me tell you exactly what I think about the game. Alright, there we go. That's how you play Mahayota. And so like I said, it wasn't going to take very long to tell you how. And I hope you don't take the rather simple rule set and the rather simple gameplay to make you think the game is very simple. Because it is not. The coolest thing about this game, besides, I mean, it's basically a card game where you're drawing cards. You're spending this set amount of valor that you have. The coolest thing about this game is, in my opinion, you don't ever really set up the cards in front of you. Now, I mean, technically, since you're picking those cards up and putting them back down, you kind of are setting them out. But it just seems like, I like the fact that it isn't just like you're just building this army in front of you. You're constantly, and it just kind of grows and grows and becomes bigger and better, and so you have this escalation of a combat. Instead, what it is that you are trying to look for different combos. You're trying to look for different weapons that go with different heroes. You're trying to look for different scrolls that you can use on your heroes, on the game itself, so you can just maximize your ability to do damage to your opponent. And now, the cool thing that I like about it is the fact that you have situations where, since if you ever do play a hero, you have to attack. I mean, it isn't something that's saying, so I'm going to play these out here, and then I'm just going to defend. I'm going to wait for you to do something. No. As soon as you put your heroes out, they have to attack your opponent. And you have to go ahead and total everything up. And so you'll have situations where you know you're going to lose. You know you're going to take damage because you can't beat them. So you have to have a situation where you're minimizing that. And then, but that's when you start like saying, when it's your next turn and you're getting beaten, you're like losing 1 or 2 health each turn. you get your cards back, and that's when you're starting to decide, I need to discard this one. I need to get rid of this one. I need to get something else that I can affect what's going on over there. I can destroy that little creation, that little combo that my opponent has had. And as you learn the decks, as you learn the different cards and what's in your deck and what they can do, that's what I like about this game. Now, normally I'm a guy that doesn't really like a game where it's like, okay, I know what's in here, I know what I have to get. I normally don't like that. I like the mystery. I like the opening up, like the new tunnel or the new path or like, what's behind this door kind of thing. And once like you kind of know the game, I've always said, it just isn't as much fun, because then, I mean, I've always thought that if you like completely know the game, then you're missing out, because like then it just becomes who can remember how to put the best thing together, or who gets lucky and gets those cards. But for whatever reason in this game, even though I pretty much know the decks at this point, I'm still really, really eager to sit down and play the game against whoever that I can, because of the fact that, especially against new players too. I mean, have you ever played like Street Fighter, like I remember playing Street Fighter 2 all the time, and like you play with Ken or Ryu, and then that one person would show up. They never played the game, and they were just all over the place, and you just couldn't get their patterns down at all, because you're just like, whoa, 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 this isn't what normally people do. I'm so used to having to defend this way, that way, attack this way, that way. All of a sudden, here comes somebody else, and all of a sudden they're just, oh, I'll put this together, and I'll put that together, and I'll use this scroll, and I'll use this weapon, I'll use this hero. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, whoa, hey, 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 that isn't how you're supposed to play. And that's what I loved about this game. The fact that, like, I took it to my local gaming store, and I had people that like are hardcore gamers play it, and they were like really excited about it after a couple plays, and I had people that were just kind of, oh, I'll give it a shot, and then after just a couple plays, they were too also excited, just because it appeals to everyone. I mean, because of the fact that, like I said, the nice simple rule set and the cool looking art and the cool different abilities, and the fact that your turn isn't tough to figure out. You kind of look at it. You have some really good decisions to make as far as, like, which cards am I going to discard? Am I going to try to am I looking for something else? How am I going to defeat what that guy has? I know what he has. I got to switch it up. I got to change it up. I got to get some cards. I got to do something different with what I have. And those are the things that I love about the game. And I just, like I said, I can't speak well enough about it. It's, as far as, like, do I think you'll like it? If you are a person that likes two-player games, I think you like it. If you like two-player games that are like super quick to play, I think you're gonna like it. If you like just this really good art, really good theme, I think you're gonna like it. I mean, those are things that I think it's going to appeal to the most. I do understand. I'm under the understanding that they have, as a stretch goal for the campaign, they do have like a 4-player version of the game that you're going to be able to play, presumably with a couple of copies of the game. So if you are a person that doesn't have the ability or doesn't get a chance to play a lot of 2-player games, I think that might be an option as well. But I apologize, I only have the 2 decks that I have, and I don't know anything more about that. So maybe that's something you want to check out over at the Kickstarter, and you can see and what's going on as far as that goes. And I also invite you to check out the Kickstarter as well, just so you can see all the art, see all the background, see the designers, like in their introductory video, just so you can kind of get an idea of where they're coming from with this particular game, and what they're trying to accomplish with it. So there you go. Alright, well, if you have any questions or concerns about how the game is played or anything like that, you can by all means ask me those questions, and I'll answer those to the best of my ability. And I'm sure that the designers of the game will be more than happy to step in and say what they think as well. So, alright, well, thank you very much, as always, for taking the time to watch this video. This is the Undead Viking. This is my gaming dojo, and I greatly appreciate you, my loyal followers and video watchers. Until next time, you have yourself an awesome day. Alright, bye.